cleanup continues this hour after severe storms pounded parts of the GTA. The weather may have been a factor in bringing down this massive tree on Davenport. Emergency crews responding around 1 this morning after the fallen tree took down some wires and also damaged 2 cars near Spadina. Fortunately, no one was hurt in the incident. We have a live look now at Davenport, and you can see the tree is still down and the road still closed right now for the cleanup. The closures between Spadina and Madison, no word yet when that will be cleared and the road will be reopened. And another ongoing closure to tell you about. We know this one's going to last until October. A live shot right now at Jarvis Street, down to just 1 lane in each direction between Queen and Dundas. This is a major months-long project to replace water mains, some of which are more than a century old. So work won't be finished until the fall in October. There will be some weekend and overnight work when needed as well. And we'll be hearing from the city's chief engineer after the 7 a.m. news on project details. We're now being told by GO Transit that there's a minor change to service this morning because of the rush hour problems yesterday that stranded thousands of riders. About 10,000 passengers were impacted when a suspected lightning strike caused signal problems. The Lakeshore West line was entirely suspended for several hours, and it also impacted the Lakeshore East line with major delays. Many riders were complaining afterwards that they weren't getting any updates from GO Transit, and we're learning this morning that the Oshawa to Union 612 train and the 642 train this morning will have 2 fewer coaches as a result of yesterday's problems. Joining us live now over the phone is Metrolink spokesperson Sania Kukaswadia. Thank you so much for joining us, Sania.
Thank you for having me.
First off, so tell us a little bit about what people can expect this morning when it comes to service delays, or at least these modifications, especially when it comes to the trains being less a couple of cars.
Sure. So overall, our signal issues were fixed last night. So in terms of service, it's business as usual this morning. Customers can expect regular service on the lines. On some of our lines, we're running slightly shorter trains, and that's because sometimes after a major disruption, trains may end up at a different yard than they would have normally. It's harder for us to kind of turn a train around and head it back in a different direction than it is, say, a bus or a car or whatnot. So some customers may have a shorter train this morning, which means trains may be a little bit more crowded than usual, but it's a very minor impact to service.
Okay, and I know that GO Transit put out a tweet, Metrolink, saying that customers who are affected should definitely apply for that service guarantee refund. A lot of customers, though, complaining about the fact they weren't getting any updates while they were on the trains or any announcements in Union Station. Can you speak to that?
You know, we try our best, and our control center tries their best to update customers. I can't really speak to what was happening on individual trains or at Union because I wasn't there, but we try our best to get information out from a variety of sources, whether it's on the GO alerts, our social media channels, the website's updated regularly, and customer service ambassadors try their best to also communicate with customers on the train. So in a major service disruption like that, things can get a little harried, but we do try our absolute best to keep our customers in the know all the time.
Okay, and right now we only have the 2 trains that have minor modifications in terms of the number of cars on them. Do you expect that this may happen also on more trains, either on Lakeshore West or East?
There may be other lines that may have shorter trains, and that's simply because it just depends on what trains headed back to what yard at the end of the night last night.
Okay, so we'll watch out for that throughout the morning. All right, thank you, Sania, for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
In other news, mixed messages coming from the new progressive conservative government on sex education in our public schools. Last week, the Ford government announced that it would revert back to the 1998 version of the sex education curriculum. But in the legislature yesterday, Education Minister Lisa Thompson said that not all parts of the curriculum, which was updated by the Liberals in 2015, would be scrapped.
We know they need to learn about consent. We know they need to learn about cyber safety. We know they need to learn about gender identity and appreciation. But we also know that the former Liberal government's consultation process was completely flawed.
But then late yesterday afternoon, Thompson's office released a statement that appeared to contradict her comment from earlier in the day. The statement says, "We have made no decisions on what the new curriculum will look like. The final decision on the scope of the new curriculum will be based on what we hear from Ontario parents. And while these consultations occur, we are reverting to the full health and physical education curriculum that was last taught in 2014. 6:08 here on BT. We'll send it down to Mel and Winston next.